online. Is this a step in the right direction, in your view?
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. Indeed it is. We have, as a commission, we have been of the position that government system should be digitalized so that it's easier to trace where things are coming from and where they are going. And recruitments have been one of the areas where we have seen a lot of bribery and corruption taking place. So we definitely support that position of doing things online. It also removes the contact with people so that there's a little more objectivity. It is not the silver bullet that will deal with issues of corruption in recruitment, but I think it will mitigate some of the challenges that we have been facing.
Yeah.
So we are definitely of the view that it should happen that way.
What is it about the National Police Service that seems to be not working, that then it is ranked as the most corrupt every single time? Is it a people's problem? Is it a policy issue? Is it just bad manners? What is it about the National Police Service?
Your guess is as good as mine. I think police, by the very nature of their work, are spread across the country. And they deal with people at very critical moments, when there are emergencies, when a person has found themselves on the wrong side of the law. And those are moments when people are vulnerable. You know, if for example, even a small, let's say a small thing like speeding, you know, part of the reason the person may be speeding that they are rushing somewhere to deal with the situation. And here is a police officer who has now stopped you. You can no longer continue with your journey. So if there is that opportunity for you to offer him something and he's willing, both of you are willing, then it sorts you out. But that doesn't stop you when the survey people come to you and say, have you ever been asked for a bribe? You say, yes, by who? By the police. So you don't say I was speeding and I was doing this. Yeah.
The excuse is not there.
Yes. So nobody takes responsibility.
So it is, partly it is that. Yeah. But going back to the issue of recruitment, and this is something that we have raised up with the National Police Service, it's another area that a lot of bribery happens, not just in the police, the prisons, I'm afraid to say the army and others, where people pay a lot of money in order for them to even find their names on the short list. So again, when those people are asked, they will say, yeah, I had to pay a lot of money. In fact, just yesterday, not 2 years ago, just yesterday, somebody was talking in my presence and said there's a friend of theirs who has had to pay $600,000 for their son to be taken to the police service. $600,000 is not small money. And if you consider that this person is going into the police service where, unfortunately, their remuneration is not very high, that person will want to recoup that money because the father will be saying, I sold my piece of land or I sold my cows for you. Now you have to bring it back. So it perpetuates that whole thing of corruption within our country. But I say it is not just the police when it comes to recruitment. But as I said, the police, I think, have greater interface with the public.
Yeah. You made a very powerful and passionate prayer at State House last time when you were meeting the president over the conflict of interest bill, and many people thought you were passing a message to the head of state. But in your observation, what is the problem in the country and what is causing this much corruption?
Going to the prayer, I think the clip that was going around was just part of the prayer. Okay. You know, and that happens with media. Yeah. You know, they can take 2 words out of your sentence. Yeah. And it means something totally different from what you actually meant. So this prayer was a general prayer because we were signing into law a bill that has been contested over a long period of time, over 24 months, almost 27 months. going back and forth in National Assembly, in the Senate, to the President, back to the National Assembly, to the Senate. And so this was a great day, and we were invited to witness. Then I was asked to pray about that occasion. Now, what do you pray about in a situation like that? Prayer is not just talking, it is talking to God. And so I was basically asking God to help us, that as this law is put into place, we don't have individuals who then go and circumvent it, and we get back to the very, very place where we are trying to get away from. So we are really invoking divine intervention to help us with this law that was put in place. And the prayer was not targeting any person who felt targeted, then they should have been targeted. Yeah, because that happens. I'm a preacher.
Yeah.
And sometimes I preach. And then you hear somebody saying, you're just talking about me.
Yeah.
You had no idea that they were in that congregation. So for me, when a person says that, I'm very happy, because then it means the message went home.
Yeah. Yes. Bishop, do we need divine intervention or stronger laws to deal with it?
This is a multiple approach. You know, divine intervention is even greater than laws. You know, God doesn't need a prosecutor. God doesn't need lawyers. God doesn't need all these people that sometimes take us around in circles. So if God can deal with these things directly, God can change your heart, you know, so that even if you are inclined towards doing evil, you find yourself doing good. So those are things that I cannot do even as CSCC chairman. So divine intervention, in fact, if he would take this over, it would be okay, it would be fine.
Kevin, you know, we're talking about the storm over the hiring of 10,000 police officers online. But now critics are now saying that this new system will also foster another avenue of corruption and nepotism. Is this a solution, or will this still be abused by the system, these online applications? And will this essentially marginalize some people? Because there are those who claim that they don't have access to internet, they may not be tech savvy. Now they're all left out from this recruitment just because it's being done online.
Trevor, that's a very good question. And in my view, I think this is a scheme to circumvent certain bad lessons. Basically bad experiences and not so good lessons that we have learned. And it is good to the extent that the world is getting digital, and schemes are now being done online, and I think there are very strong processes, if not even legislations, to try and push governments to be open insofar as digitization is concerned, and putting in place structures and systems that will ensure that governments, both ministries, departments, and agencies, are largely digital. But as you rightfully said, there are going to be marginalization issues. There are still areas, even in our country here, where internet connectivity, and even as basic as communication network, is not as strong as you'd expect. And so why I say, in my view, it looks like a circumvent is because we have proper experiences. And the Bishop has just shared with us one here, that a Kenyan expressed or shared a story in his presence of having been asked to give 600,000 shillings. And I was just doing a simple arithmetic. If you have 10,000 police officers, and assuming that each family is giving 600,000, you're talking over 6 billion Kenya shillings. And that is just in one recruitment. Therefore, in my view, Trevor, and juxtaposed to the question around stronger laws and divine intervention, we just need institutions that will do their work. And if these institutions do their work, including the National Police Service, and the example that the good Bishop has given about KDF, and even where families also sell their pieces of land and you know, huge sums of cattle to pay for this recruitment. Whenever examples or V2 ground experiences are shared, we need the institutions to come to the fore and arrest people who are asking Kenyans to pay, because this is a service. Our police officers are servicemen and servicewomen. And to the extent that you have to bribe someone to those huge sums of money, it means that it is neither about digitization, nor is it about strong laws, and in fact, not even about divine intervention, because if we were to get to Acts chapter 5, where Ananias and Sapphira, sold some produce, and as they were walking into this nicely organized place where the remittances were being done, the prophet of the Lord looks at them and he says, is this all? Is this all? So we need to get to a level where our institutions will be so strong to want to demand from the heads of our institutions, like the chair of the National Police Service Commission, like the IG, the Inspector General of Police, that if there is a single case of a Kenyan saying so-and-so asked me for money, these people need to be, held accountable and brought to book. I don't think that requires stronger laws. Of course, some of our laws are, I believe, Bishop, that Kenya has very strong anti-corruption laws. And by God's grace, I have sat in certain meetings where even other countries are saying they want to come to visit Kenya and learn from EACC benchmark and also, go through our laws. So our laws are so strong, but why can't they protect the weak? Why can't they really intervene for people who are being asked for monies to pay? So therefore, our institutions like the judiciary, why should a corruption case take 5 years? Why should somebody be in jail? I mean, go through a case of corruption for 10 years? Is it an issue of stronger laws? Is it that we don't pray properly? In my view, Trevor, it is about institutions. Okay. So our governance institutions must be enhanced. They have to be strengthened. And where there are gaps, and this strengthening doesn't just mean that specific places are being looked at. We need EACC officers to get into the recruitment, platforms. We need EACC officers to get into the fields where these Kenyans are running. And if we have to push it to the digital aspect, then let's put CCTV cameras in our stadiums, in our stadia, where as the recruitments are going on, people are informed that this area is under CCTV surveillance, so that we begin to see how that will be able to help us in curbing corruption. Digitization is good, but unfortunately, I do not think, in the era where we're even talking about people breaking into IFMIS, I heard the CS Treasury the other day, very good gentleman, saying now we want to digitize procurement into a one-stop shop. But it is in this country where we have seen people who who actually share bid for procurement or other tenders, and they are never called for interviews, but the matter was an online system. So this is good, it's a good practice, but unfortunately, we took a ground in this country, I think will go beyond digitization.
Dr. Mola, I'll come to you in just a minute. Let me bring back Bishop Oginda. There's something that Osida has mentioned, the frosty relationship between the Inspector General and National Police Service Commission. Is that something that can be remedied, or do we need a change of laws? Now the issue is around the payroll. Who should have the payroll, who should not?
I think the challenge that has been there, it's been there for a while, and it doesn't sound like it's a personal thing, because it seems like different IGs have had difficulties with the different chairs of the commission. So perhaps we need to look at the structuring of that whole arrangement. And I was in Bomas when this matter was being discussed, and it was one of the most contentious issues, I can tell you. So the fight started from Bomas when the constitution was being reviewed, where to put the administration police, whether we need a police service commission, and so on. So I think when you see something like this happening, the best thing is to look at that arrangement again and try and find out where is the problem. Because like a marriage, you can't force two people to stay together. They might kill each other. So you need to look at what are the issues and try and resolve them so that this matter is sorted out once and for all. The issue of fighting over payrolls, if you sort that one out, another one will arise. Those are symptoms of a bigger problem. So
what is the bigger problem here?
The bigger problem is the whole arrangement of the relationship between the National Police, the Commission, and the service, how they interface, how they interact, and how they work together. Because they are supposed to be facilitative of each other, but instead they are fighting each other. And this, as I said, started all the way from the constitutional review process up to now. So we should not bury our heads and try to force that relationship to work, but instead look at what are the issues that are causing this contention. Sort that one out, and we'll have dealt with most, if not all, of the other problems that we have been facing.
Why does it matter who controls the payroll, in your view?
For me, I would say, that's what I'm trying to say. It is not the payroll. You sort out payroll, another thing will come up. This fight is not new, and it is not just over payroll. This fight has been there for a long time. I was in a meeting where we had senior government officials, including the chair and the IG. And right there, in the presence of many witnesses, they had altercations publicly, you know, and it is not the current IG. So it tells you that something is just not right. So for me, I would not focus on sorting out the payroll. I would focus on sorting out the underlying issues that may be causing this relationship, because it seems to be systemic. It is not personality, it is not operational. It is a systemic issue that needs to be looked at, and if need be, readjusted.
Can that be the systemic issue? Can it be addressed by realigning the laws or different policy directions?
I think
clear separation.
It is the laws. It's the laws that create systems and policies so that we see the organizational structure that was created, is it working? You know, we do that even in the corporate sector. We do that in any governance system. If a system is not working, you go back and look at it. Are we properly structured? And how can we structure ourselves for efficiency and for effectiveness? To me, that's how I would look at it.
All right, Dr. Mola, I'm about to take a quick break here, but I'd like to hear your views on this police hiring, because when we come back now, we're talking about devolution and corruption. On this police hiring online, is this the direction we should take as a country, or is this just another avenue for system abuse?
In my view, this is the direction we should take as a country, because if you digitize your systems and procedures using the right technology, for example, if you use blockchain technology, a blockchain technology platform to digitize this recruitment, then you will not leave any avenue for any alterations or changes in the system. So as a country, I think this is the way we should go. However, we also need to ensure that digital services are available in unserved and underserved areas. The gadgets that we need to access this technology should be made affordable. And the power generation that is required, for example, to power these particular devices, we should also ensure that we achieve that last mile connection. So from a technology perspective, yes, it is a good system. Though what happens sometimes is that you may find that if a system is so good and there are probably corrupt people who want to bypass it, they can instruct the developers of the system to switch it off.
On the day of the recruitment.
On the day of the recruitment.
Crashes.
And say that there are some technology problems, so we can't use it. But the system itself works. Blockchain system is foolproof. It cannot be altered. It cannot be changed. So to me, I think this is the way to go, to digitize everything in the public sector.
But we've also seen some of these senior police officers in this particular proposal. There's no buy-in from them. In fact, that's what I was asking Bishop earlier on. Is it a people's problem or just policy's direction? Because even this is being resisted by senior police officers themselves.
There's no buy-in because, you see, this other system that we have used over the years allows people to introduce all sorts of things into the arrangement. You know, bribery, they can change the names, they can do so many things without a structured system. So part of the solution is to come up with a change management process for this kind of change so that there is sufficient buy-in. I think what happened is that there was no sufficient change management strategies that were applied to this. And the people will always say, we've always done it this way, you know, for the last 40, 50 years. People are always resistant to change. But as a country, I think this is the way to go.
All right.
And yes, I entirely agree that we need to digitize.
Okay.
Yes.
I have to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're now delving into devolution and corruption. It's still related to what we're talking about here, just the systems. Where is the problem as a country? Where is there an issue when it comes to corruption? Is it the laws that we need to rectify? Is it a people's problem? All that coming up. And then I'll also find out from Bishop how bad the situation is in the counties. That coming up in just a bit. Keep your views coming at Trevor Mbidi at Citizen TV Kenya. Use the hashtag Citizen Daybreak. See you in just a bit.